Hi guys. I promised you that I would give you just a real quick tutorial of Khan Academy um, because we didn't get to really go over it in class, and you did have some things for this week that you were supposed to be getting done. If you've gotten them done, that's great. Um, Thank you for going ahead and doing that. If not, it's no big deal because we're not even going to meet again until next week. Um, so first things first, you should have followed the link that I sent you through email to log in to the class. If for any reason the course was asking you for a class code, the class code is actually at the end of that link. Now, if you're still having trouble getting into Khan Academy, a lot of people have been having this problem that they follow the link and it says it's not allowing access or it's blocked. So what you need to do is, instead of logging in with Google, where it says, click, log in with Google, don't click that. Click on sign up right here. So when you click on sign up, you're going to click on learner and then enter this information right here. Then you'll enter the class code. Once you've done that, it's going to take you to the rest of the setup. Please use your real name because I can't grade anybody's progress if they've not used their real name. You can use your personal email, that's no problem, but make sure your real name is actually your nickname. All right, so anyway, once you've gotten into the site, your work for this week was actually very, very simple. So like I said, if you haven't done it yet, no big deal. This is going to walk you straight through it. So what you should be seeing is something that looks similar to this. All right, so the course that course code that I gave you should have logged you in straight into my course, which is computer programming. If you're not seeing my course's computer programming, again, no big deal. What you're going to do is come up here to courses, come down here in the middle to computer programming, and it's all right here. We're looking at Unit 1, Intro to JS, Drawing and Animations. So what your assignments were for this week was to click on the Intro to Programming. All you're doing is watching this video and reading over this. I do want you to do both of those. All right. Once you've done that, you can click on, you can go back through here, or you can just go to Lesson 2. This was your challenge, or not your challenge, but this was your assignment for the remainder of the week. So you were going to watch, and here's all the lessons. So you're going to watch the video with making drawings with code. Listen, pay very close attention to this video because this is kind of explaining the entire process of how to use this platform right here. All right, I wanted you to read over the quick tip, which is also very, very helpful because it's referring to the number scrubbing. It was going to give you a challenge, the simple snowman, which is actually kind of fun once you start learning some shapes. Your directions are going to be right here, and you're going to do all the code right here. All right. If you're not comfortable and you're getting frustrated, you can click undo or you can click start over. Then, of course, you've got drawing more shapes with code, which is another video. And then you've got the waving snowman challenge, which is not actually something that I'm expecting you to complete right now. However, let me come back to this real quick. Because right here, I want to explain to you, this is how you write code, all right, in this particular program. So I want to go over a couple things with you that I'm definitely going to go over in class next week, but I want to explain these to you. So if you see these two backslashes right here, and then something written in green, that means those two backslashes means that you are inserting a comment. So what that means is the computer is not reading that as code. So if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to create a circle directly in the center of the screen, I'm going to give it a description. So this is going to be my snowman's body. So I'm going to do // body, and you'll see that it types it in green. So that means that the computer's not reading this code. It's what I put after that that's going to be the code. So if I am creating a circle, the code in JavaScript is not circle, it's ellipse. So I'm going to type in ellipse. So the computer now knows that I'm going to be drawing some sort of circle, but it doesn't know where. So I have to give it 4 parameters, and I do that inside of parentheses. Once you put those parentheses, a little text box pops up, and it tells you that these are the parameters you're working with, all right? So the first one is going to be your X parameter, and that means how far over from the left side of the screen to the right side. So from the left side of the screen to the right side, we're starting at 0 and going to 400. Same thing with the height, starting at 0 and going down the screen to 400. So for a circle, if I want it to be in the center of the screen, it needs to be at 200, 200, because that's the middle of 400. So I'm going to do 200 for my X parameter, which is how far from the left side of the screen. Separate that by a comma. Do 200 for my for my Y parameter, which is how far down the screen. All right. So now my third and fourth parameter is the size. The third parameter refers to the width, and the fourth parameter refers to the height. So I want this to be a perfectly round circle, so I'm going to want them to be the exact same. So you see in the example here that gave you 150, 150, so let's just do that. Let's do 150, and this is pixels that we're referring to, 150 for width, and let's also do 150 for height. We'll close that with a parenthesis. Nothing will appear yet until you close your code, that particular function, out with a semicolon. So it's semicolon, and you're going to see that you have an ellipse or a circle appear right here. All right, so now when anything pops up right here, it's kind of I don't want to say it's a warning, but it's a note to you. So you do need to read anything that pops up. This says the first ellipse for the bottom of the snowman seems to be too far up, which means it's too far up the screen. So what we're needing to do is move it down some towards touching the bottom of the screen. All right. So what we're going to do is we don't want to change our width or height. We like the size. How far over it is perfect, but we want to change how far down it is. So when I click on the Y parameter, you see I get this little thing right here. It's called a number scrubber. I could start typing in numbers if I wanted to, but I want to use my number scrubber because that lets me see it in real time. So if I click on the number scrubber and I just hold it and bring it down or bring it to the right, you see my circle moving at the same time. All right. So now my Y parameter is 305. We get this little pop-up message that says, way to go, you can do it. And so now we're going to move on to the next one. So I want to go ahead and create the middle of the body. So I can type it all in if I wanted to, but I know that I want it to be generally the same. So I'm just going to copy and paste this function right here, or line of code, however you want to say it, and I'm going to put it on line 3. Nothing is going to pop up at first because it's just covering the last one. So if I want to start changing things now, I want it to be on top of the bottom of the snowman, but I want it to be directly in the same position on my X parameter. So I'm going to leave the X parameter at 200, but then I'm going to scrub the Y parameter up some. And you see that my circle starts moving. Problem is, it's a little bit too big, so let's change the width and the height a little bit. Let's change it maybe down to 130 for both, because you see I changed my width and it squished my circle in, but now I want to change my height to also 130. So I could type it in or I can scrub it down, however I want to do it. All right. And so now I'm starting to get, you can get rid of that little guy. So now I'm starting to get some dimension to my snowman. Well, I've copied that function, so I'm just going to paste it again, because now I need the head for the snowman. And I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe since I came down 20 pixels for the middle of the body. Maybe I'll come down another 20. So instead of 130, let's make it 110. And you can see it happening in real time. So there's my head, but it's down at the bottom, so we need to move him up some. All right, and it's just like that. So I use my command up here, which is not actually a command. I use my comment up here as body, but if I wanted to, I could say that was the body. I could say this was the middle, and I could say this was the head. And that way I'm starting to get some lines of code. And so when you get multiple lines of code, you're going to want your comments in there, so you can differentiate, what, because now I have 3 circles, and if I didn't know what they were, I would want these comments there. All right, so this is kind of how you get started on this. And so what I'm wanting you to do is go do lesson 1 and lesson 2. And then when we get together next week, we will go over this a lot more in detail. But at least you'll have some idea of how to go ahead and get started. I am sorry that this video is so late in the week. I've been trying to get grades put in, but the grades are finalized. Everything's good with that. So if you have any questions about your grades, you can go back and look at that now, and everything's good. All right, if you have any questions, you know where I am. You know how to find me, and we will get together next week. Have a